I'm Joe, and I'm pissed, and I'm going to rant. That's right, I'm going to rant. Today I'm going to rant about student loans. Why student loans? Why do I care? Have I ever had a student loan? No, never had a student loan. You know why? Because I knew better not to get a student loan. And here's the problem with student loans. If you are going to a university and they're peddling out student loans and they're telling you you need a student loan because if you go to this university, we'll get you a job at this certain place and you'll have this certain skill, blah, blah, blah. That's great. That's great if you have a job and you need that skill to obtain that job, or you need that connection, or you need that reference. But for most jobs, let's be honest, you don't really need that degree from that prestigious university to, I don't know, do like half of the jobs available from a university. So my problem with student loans is that they seem fun. They seem enticing. They seem like they're very friendly. Hey, once you graduate, you're going to be making so much money. Don't worry about it. Just get a loan now. Pay it back when you're out of school. Well, what if, like most people, you can't get a job for the first 6 months, first year? Well, maybe you should defer your payment. That's great, but then it gets to you eventually. And then you have to wonder, why are the only options available at a university student loans? Well, you see a couple of credit card kiosks. They give you a little gift or a little toy for signing up for a credit card. And then you see the student loan center, and then you get the apply, and sounds great and all that. But the biggest problem are the things that they don't tell you about student loans. And they don't tell you that now they could actually stop you from getting a house. What happened is before is they factored in student loans to nothing. It didn't affect you in any way. Now they're factoring that in if you want to, in your debt to income ratio, if you want to buy a car, you want to buy a home, they're factoring that in. The other thing is that student loans count against you. They are an installment loan, meaning that if you want to obtain anything in the future, that counts against your monthly liabilities. The credit card debts could count against you as far as the minimum payment, but student loans count against you for the full payment. Student loans aren't necessarily the great interest rates that everyone tells you that they are. More often, you could get loans at banks, personal loans, and even loans catering to educational loans at banks that are even competitive or lower interest rates. The major problem with student loans is they don't go away. They don't go away ever. Just like tax liens and tax debt, if you file a bankruptcy, they stay with you. Can't get rid of them. They stay. And now you're hearing about all these wonderful things in the news about refinancing student loan debt or settling student loan debt. Most of those places are illegitimate or scams. So we can't speak for everybody, but most of the places, they can't do anything for you as far as student loans go. So the biggest problem I have with student loans is they affect the people that are in most dire need of financial education and financial advice. Impressionable young students. And that's what makes me the most mad, is that when you're young and you want your education to determine what you want to do with the rest of your entire life, you think that going to school and getting an education and going to the student loan center, you think they might have the best financial advice for you. You think they might know more than you know about finances and the thing that they're offering. You might not even think you can shop around and look for better rates at other places, and you can. But the best advice I have for you as far as student loans is don't get them. Do whatever you can to not get them. And whatever I can, I mean, go to 2-year universities. Go to community colleges and take most of your courses you can at a cheaper rate before you even transfer to a state school or university. Have a part-time job or a job that you can stand or selling items on the side when you're going to school. If you can get money from friends or family for education, get it. Do some research. See if the thing that you're graduating in is even going to pay you anything, or even if the jobs are available. Simple Google search will tell you that. How many jobs am I going to have in the field I'm studying? What's the field going to pay? How much is it going to pay? And then Google how much the taxes are on that, and how much you pay on taxes for that said job and those wages. And then see if at the end, when you get your career that you wanted, that you paid for, when you get your career and you get your first paycheck, and when you live in the area where you want to have the job that you trained and went to school for, if you could afford the rent, afford the transportation, and afford the student loan payment on top of that, and then decide for yourself how much debt is worth taking on for this field or industry. That's what you really need to be thinking about before you even go to college, before you even sign up for any one of your majors or programs at any type of university or community college. And then you need to determine whether or not the student loans that you're taking out, you can even pay those back with the job that you're getting. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I'm just asking you for literally 15, 25 minutes of research before you pick your major and before you go into debt and before you do this. Because literally, less than a half an hour of research, that can determine and take care of a lifetime of problems that you would have over the debt you would incur. You've heard the horror stories on the news, student loan debt, this, that, whatever. It's all preventable. It really is. You're choosing to get into that debt. You're choosing to go to that school. Before we have everyone screaming and yelling, if you've already made the choice, I'll have another show about that. But maybe you're watching this video right now and you're deciding what you should do and what you should pay for it. I'm telling you to decide whether it's actually worth it. Whether or not everything that you're going to dedicate your life to for the next 4 years after you graduate high school, maybe 4, 6, 8 years, if there will be a career available, if there will be a future in that position, if it's growing, if it's shrinking, what it pays now, what it's going to pay in the future, and if at the end you can afford everything that is required of you to get that. It might have been your first choice, but maybe after doing the research, second, third, and fourth might not be so bad. That's why I hate student loans.